freaking go. Let's go. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Can you hear me in the chat? I want to make sure that each and every one of you can hear me loud and clear. I know we don't have our normal fancy smancy setup here tonight, but I have been on the road all day, right? And it is cool. I'm going to tell you where I am in just a second, but obviously we're going to talk about today what all of you guys are talking about. And we start things off here with Tony driving the Nuss bus. I love it. Yes, he did have the bum ankle today, so he wasn't able to take part in practice. But here's the truth about the Garrett Nussmeier Nuss bus. It took a hit today, not being able to scrimmage, because Jaden Daniels played really well in the scrimmage, right? So I have been able to look at a lot of the things that Jaden Daniels did in the scrimmage. I have also gotten to talk to people who attended the scrimmage. As many of you know, my really close relationship with Blake Ruffino at RU Serious Sports, who was at the scrimmage. I highly recommend you make sure you check his show out a little bit later this evening. And I do apologize having to start this live stream a little bit earlier, getting to hang out with some of Haley's family before the season. As you guys know, us that work in the college football media, we have to sacrifice so much during the season. So I wanted to make sure I get this family time to hang out with Haley all the way here in Mobile and or Fairhope, Alabama. So sorry for starting this a little bit earlier. Now, here's the thing about Jaden Daniels. He went 10 to 12 today. He threw the football really well. And the one thing you can say about Jaden Daniels, when you go back and actually watch him during his time at Arizona State, the one thing he does really well, almost to a Joe Burrow level, is feel out of pocket. He is really, really good at that, such as feeling out where the rushers are. And the problem for Jaden Daniels is that he did, let's be honest, he did have issues at times keeping his eyes down the field when he actually did feel out the rush. But what I want to do is share with you a quick clip right here of Jaden Daniels today at practice via.
Go get the cup. Go get the cup.
Get
sorry.
the dog.
Sorry, we're trying. I'm sorry.
There you go, Presh.
Come on, Teddy.
There you go. Hold Teddy up. Hold Teddy up. Let them see Teddy. Let them see. Look at that. Look at Teddy. All right, we're going to play this clip. You're going to get your hair done?
Yeah, come on.
Bye, guys. So here's Jaden Daniels today at practice. All right, so I want to play this clip one more time, okay? So once again, here's a completion from Jaden Daniels to Kyron Lacey via Matt Moscona. So, yes, I know you can hit the quarterback, but that right there, what you just witnessed, was undeniably very high-level quarterback play, right? B.J. Ojulari crashes the pocket right there. He beats Anthony Bradford really easily because B.J. Ojulari is a really good player. Mason Smith was also collapsing the pocket there. Jaden Daniels, I know it looks like they didn't hit him, and maybe they do bring him down if they could hit him, but he just sidesteps the pocket, steps up, and old Jaden Daniels would have just taken off and run. He kept his eyes downfield and hit Kyron Lacey on the dig, and that is really, really, really good stuff. So, you know, this is a bottom line. I give Chris a lot of credit. Chris has been a big Jaden supporter. That's really good. Like, today, just based on all my sources and the videos that I've been able to watch, he played really well. And you see the title of the video, the truth is, Miles Brennan would have gotten more first team reps, okay, if he was really in this quarterback race. So you very well could be watching Miles Brennan out of this race right now. And I know that sucks. I know in a perfect world, we wouldn't want Miles Brennan, who has been an LSU loyalist, to get the opportunity to be the quarterback. That's just not the case right now. Garrett Nussmeier's outperformed him, and Jaden Daniels is far and away ahead of him right now. Now, that doesn't mean Miles is completely out of this race. He did get some repetitions with the ones. I'm going to be honest. A lot of you are going to call me a conspiracist. I didn't have time to cut up the video. Obviously, I've been traveling here. I didn't have time to cut up the video when he hit BTJ on a double move. That was obviously a really well thrown ball, but that was Ray Darius Jones who he was going up against. And I think Ray Darius Jones is probably the sixth string cornerback right now for LSU. Really good double move though by BTJ, and the ball was perfectly thrown. So I give Miles credit there, but the truth is this offensive line has a lot of issues, and it's, if your O-line's got issues, it's tough to play Miles Brennan at QB right now. So obviously, you guys know I've been rooting for Miles because he has been with LSU so long. But the bottom line is y'all come here for the most objective opinion on this team that we all know and love. Right now, Miles is struggling. For whatever reason, he is behind the other two quarterbacks. And the prevailing theme that I have heard from people who were there is that they are just waiting to see if Garrett Nussmeier can perform in these scrimmages better than Jaden Daniels. But as of right now, Jaden's going to be the guy. And that's just where we are. Now, I have long said in my gut that I thought Miles Brennan would be the first one to trot out there versus Florida State. And there could be a lot that changes from now until then. But the way that the reps have been divvied out up to this point are concerning if you are a Miles Brennan fan. Okay. Now, here's something else that Danny astutely points out here. I will play the clip one final time. And the snap right there was low, right there to Jaden Daniels. So this is going to happen if you have a brand new center. Obviously, this is new for Garrett Dellinger. I don't think Garrett Dellinger played center in high school. So this is new for him, especially when in a spring where he didn't get a chance to play all that much. But for the most part, I feel that Delly's done fine at center. So, yeah. And this was actually the clip that I wanted to play. I didn't have time to cut it all up. I wish I did. I wish I could have done my live stream in my normal time. But I can't tonight. Once again, sorry for starting early. Doug, you guys know how much I love Emory Jones. And I felt for a while that I was overhyping him. But I'm only ever, I promise you on this, I'm only ever going to hype up true freshman players if I really think that they are 100% going to be studs. And Emory Jones was my number one player in this class. When Harold Perkins committed, he moved down to number 2. And I've long held that position. And he has already shown it out. I mean, you could just see it. I don't know if I've ever seen a high school offensive lineman in Louisiana better than him. I don't know. I really, I've said that a few times. And he's good. I mean, he's so freaking good at football. Now, what's the plan with him? I don't know. I don't know what the plan's actually going to be. I think the guard position is probably his best position. But what could happen is LSU might play him at guard and kick Frazier out to tackle if they need to. But Emory can really play. He can really, really play. And, sometimes it's we I could do all these detailed breakdowns But sometimes you just need to sit down and watch the kid. And if he's popping off the screen every single time you watch him, you just know. You just know, right? Sometimes it's just a sense thing. And honestly, there were 4 players in this 2022 crop that did that. It was Emory Jones, Walker Howard, Will Campbell, Harold Perkins. The other 11 that signed with LSU all have promise, right? Now, one I do want to talk about is Mason Taylor. And I saw some thirsty wondering if Mason Taylor plays as a true freshman, does that mean we get a Joy Taylor sighting on campus? Joy's a goddess, and you guys know I'm a big Colin Cowherd fan, and I think if Mason Taylor does play a lot, we might get Joy Taylor on campus. Now, you know, somebody commented that before the live stream even began. That'd be great. She's one of the best sports radio hosts out there right now. But yeah. That KMC, and I think that was the one that Danny was referencing, the low snap right there. So there you go. Jaden has the poker room. There you go. It's a legacy Dom. We got to talk some. We got to talk some finances. I might need you to help me, man. Rob G's in here. Joshua, Master Blaster, Valenti, Tony. There she is, the gorgeous Annie. Love it. You guys got to meet Annie during our last live chat. Good to see you, Edward O, Marcus, Chris. Yeah, what's the word on the defense? I was like, House is rotating a lot of players. So, I wanted to talk about Mason Taylor on offense. Mike Denbrock's your offensive coordinator. And what position group does Mike Denbrock coach? He coaches tight ends. So don't you think an offensive coordinator is going to want tight ends on the field? Well, if they want tight ends on the field, Mason Taylor has a great opportunity to play a lot in year one. Okay. Now, tight end's hard, but we saw a true freshman last year, Brock Bowers, take the world by storm. I'm not sure if Mason's that good. I don't know if we'll ever see a true freshman tight end better than that guy because Brock's really good. But, the next player I wanted to talk about is Colby Richardson, okay? This is a transfer from McNeese State, okay? And the funny thing about college football is you don't really see players shoot up depth charts the way that some of these players have. But when you have a new coaching staff, they are willing to give you the opportunity to win jobs over guys that have been there for a long time. We have been waiting for Raydarius Jones. Thank you so much, Tony, for this. We have been waiting for Raydarius Jones to break out. We have been waiting for Demarius McGee. Even though it's only year 2 for Demarius, we're waiting for all these guys. You bring in all these transfers. Jordan TOLES decides to enter the transfer portal. Okay. I wish him nothing but the best, but it is very interesting that these highly touted players aren't getting it done. And Colby Richardson from McNeese, who is seasoned, and let's be honest, McNeese played in Tiger Stadium last year. And apparently he's been one of the best, if not the best defensive back in practice during the fall. Somebody that comes from the FCS to the Power 5 level, betting on himself here. That is the beauty of this sport. And, over the past couple of years, we have seen Darren Evans make the transfer from, Nichols to LSU. And let's be honest, Darren Evans was, it was tough for him, but at least he played hard. At least he was available. At least he was hungry. I never once watched Darren Evans and I said, Okay, this guy's not playing hard. No, he tried. He came out there and he gave it his all. Okay. So I am very excited to see stuff like this. And as many of you know, I love out of state players, but I always cheer for 3 stars and walk ons from Louisiana. And Colby Richardson from McNeese State is getting to live his dream right now. Okay. And something about corner that is very interesting is it is a very shoulder position, right? It's a position that is a mental, uh, it's a mental position. Colby Richardson's playing with house money right now. Okay. And let's be honest, he probably has real naysayers out there. He does. Like none of the other corners in there probably have a lot of naysayers. They were highly touted players. They were like 4-star or better players. They've transferred from other good universities. Colby Richardson, nobody gave him a shot. Nobody gave him a shot. And all he's doing is going head to head against the #1 wide receiver in next year's NFL draft. And he's looked really good. He's looked really good. Okay. Now, truth be told, I deferred to people that were actually at the practice, spoke to 2 of them. Obviously, uh, they tell me it looks really good. Now, LSU is DBU, right? And you do have to ask the question, why are we even in the spot that we are relying on FCS transfers to come save the day? It's not my cross to bear. Huh? I don't care. I don't care if you have one leg. If you can play, you can play. And I know that, let's just say, Richardson does start. We do this a lot as LSU fans. We tilt our heads high and say, well, we're DBU. We are above starting corners from the FCS level. And there's going to be a lot of that. And more than likely, Colby Richardson, he's not going to start, right? It's more than likely going to be Banks or Gardner or Converse, those 3 out of the 2 outside corner spots. But I'm going to tell you what, I know who I'm cheering for. I'm cheering for the underdog story. Okay? 5th-year senior from NOLA. And that's the thing, Marcus. LSU right now is an equal opportunity employer. I hope they always have been. But the truth is, you notice a lot of these guys that have been around in the spring are getting passed up by guys that just walked on LSU turf, right? Everything's wide open. Everything's wide open. And you do begin to question, is there anything that we saw in the spring that tells us anything about the current team? Okay. Anthony Bradford, he might start. Garen Dellinger wasn't in the spring. He might start at center. Emory Jones might start by the end of the year. Colby Richardson from McNeese. Mason Taylor, true freshman 3-star from Florida. Noah Kane. So one thing I'll take from fall practice is that LSU, in their evaluation during spring practice, said, hey, these new guys, they might be better than what we had in the spring. And oh yeah, that Harold Perkins guy's pretty good too. Carter, I need you in the family section with us week 1. Man, that'd be crazy. In Jaden's family section? You know what's funny about that? And and I appreciate I'd love to. But, and I hope Jaden, I'll say this. Jaden impressed me today. Jaden really impressed me today. Okay. 10 of 12. Okay. Looks like it's starting to click. Now, is he a top half of the SEC starter? Probably not. Probably not. But you don't need that to win 8 games, 9 games, 10 games in this conference. And also, I think we could agree that his peak is probably a little bit higher than Myles Brennan at his peak because of the dual threat capability. Okay? but yeah, I think I can make that happen. I have committed to doing a pregame and halftime show from business in New Orleans. But I'll take you up on a game this year. How about that? Okay, I'd love to do that. And I hope he wins. I hope Nuss wins. I hope Miles wins. Whoever wins the job, there you go. And thank you for your support, Legacy Dom. And no matter what happens, Jaden always has an open invite. As we were supposed to have a current LSU player on the show last week. It got canceled. But, if any current LSU player, or if you know any current LSU player that you would like to see, I don't care if they're the fourth string backup. They always have a place to come talk LSU football. Okay? Jordan, good to see you. We can't have a live chat without Jordan. Jacob, a new patron. I gotta say this. There are not many fans in the LSU universe that are more energetic than him. Okay. So yeah, really excited. Really excited. Because look, let's be honest here. There's a lot surrounding Jaden at this point that does concern you a little bit. You do wonder, with his dual threat and his ability or just his experience, why he hasn't separated himself from the other quarterbacks yet. Today might have been it. But just based on what I've heard, I'll say this, okay? And once again, I'm just sharing this here. You guys know I'm not a big insider. I'm not a big newsbreaker or whatever. So Colby Richardson has a wide open invite, okay? Now, do you want to talk about John Emery or Emery Jones? You want to talk about Emery Jones? Okay. Let me say one quick thing though, Jordan, if you don't mind. So I did share this in the Discord, which is part of our Patreon here at PHL. Okay. So this morning I got a message at 2:30 on my Instagram, and so Legacy and I talk on Instagram, and I don't check it enough, right? And I got a message request at 2:30 in the morning, and lo and behold, it was that Garrett Nussmeier wasn't going to scrimmage. So I shared the message in the Discord, and it was very interesting. I was like, okay, this is cool. And sometimes I get these messages from people that watch the channel or people that know someone, and it's cool. It lets you know that you're doing something right. And I don't seek out inside information unless I really got to know something. I do think we need to wait and see Nuss practice and get a chance to scrimmage. I do. Buzz, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Buzz, you get to pick the next topic. We go to Emery Jones. Okay? I love Emery Jones, Jordan. I do. And I know I talked about him a minute ago, but Jordan just joined. The hype is real. Okay? The hype is real. He was my number one player on my board in Louisiana. He has been since his junior year. I did a video, took some blowback, and in the thumbnail, I said next Lyle. Okay? He's the best Louisiana offensive lineman I've seen since Lyle Collins. That I've seen with my own two eyes, looking at, just tape, coaches, 247 guys. And I was like, why is this guy not a top 100 player? And at the time, I think he was rated in like the 250s. And Chris, correct me if I'm wrong on this. I think he ended up in like the 150s or something like that. And I've done a lot of videos on Emery Jones, right? And I don't, you just don't do many film studies on offensive linemen because the algorithm tells me, hey, nobody wants to watch offensive line content. But I was like, this guy is so freaking good. He's so freaking good. The basketball background, his size, his feet, his hands are violent. He's got an attitude, high IQ football player, can block on screens. He could just do everything, right? Now, I don't think his body is where it's going to be. You got to remember, he didn't join the team until the the fall, right? Or excuse me, later in the summer. But he's special. He's really, really, really special. And you could be in a spot where your two best offensive linemen on the team are two true freshmen. And this could just be one of those cases where, your two best players you've had at the position in a long time are both in the same class. It just happens like that, right? Like, you know, of the past decade, nobody knew that Jeremy Hill, Leonard Fournette, and Darius Geis would go on the running back run that they did. Sometimes these things just come in clusters, right? It's genetics, it's randomness, and these two guys are going to be the cornerstone of hopefully a national championship run here in a few years. Okay, and they just happen to you know run into a situation here where both Emory Jones and Will Campbell are going to be coached by the best offensive line reputation head coach in the country. Maybe Sam Pittman has a better reputation because he actually was an offensive line coach. But, when it comes to actual head coaching, Notre Dame's put out the best. I mean, Quentin Nelson is the best. But Mike McGlinchey, that list goes on. And I'm not here to talk about Notre Dame players, but those two guys were beasts. Notre Dame puts out some beast on the O-line. So these two guys are hitting the jackpot here, right? Brad Davis stuck around, and Brad Davis and Emory Jones knew each other from when Brad Davis was recruiting them to Arkansas. They're hitting the perfect storm here in terms of coaching and the opportunity to play early. And we'd be lucky to have them for more than 3 years. These two guys can really play. But Emory is so special. He's so freaking special. He's so good at football. And I'm not afraid to hype him up. You know how it is. I don't like to do this with a lot of players, but he's got it. He's got it. Whatever it is, he's got it. Okay. So he ended number 110. So there you go. But for a while, I think he was like in the 250s. I haven't looked at his recruiting history for a while, but that's just so wild. Yeah. I mean, I've played his throw to Kyron Lacey a few times. I mean, if you go 10 to 12, you must have did something right. And just based on one source, they said today was his best practice, Jaden Daniels. Okay? Now, this is part of it as well. He does need to allow plays to develop. And that's part of it. But then again, maybe the plays weren't developing. I only saw a few plays. I wasn't able to see all the plays. He does struggle seeing the field. He does. There's no doubt about it. Okay? So, what I've said in the past about Jaden still applies now as far as the deep passing game and all of that. But there's a lot that needs to get cleaned up. Okay? According to Blake, it's 10 to 12. But yeah, if anyone knows Colby Richardson, I would love to have him on the channel. Okay? All good, Sergeant. Of it all. Huh? Well, I'm glad I'm part of it. Sherry, it's good to see you. Oh, I want to show you this, Sherry. So I am in Alabama right now, and really quickly, if I may, So one of my favorite sports card shops is actually in Alabama, and it's in Mobile. And the guy is actually a Saints fan that owns it. I got to meet him for the first time today. Nathan, really cool guy, and he gave me a great deal. And this card was actually, I had to dig. I was just digging through his stuff that wasn't on like the shelf, and I got a great deal on this. Hey, bud. Oh, you want to come say hi? Hey, make sure Teddy doesn't knock that over. Make sure Teddy doesn't knock that over.
I didn't know he was in
But look at this. So, Sherry, I might send you this. Your favorite player, Sherry. There you go.
No, I'm right here.
That's an inside joke for me and Sherry. Also got Eli Manning, shout out, and a bunch of Jameis cards.
I got a tape.
Look at you. How you doing? You want to say hi to everybody?
Say hey.
Hello. Come here. Stop. Get Teddy. Grab Teddy for me.
Baby, I had to come in here and get my purse.
What are you doing?
Hey.
Hi.
Teddy.
Teddy. There you go. You good? Yeah. We went on our walk earlier. There you go. All right, take her. She's heavy. You got her? Eat. All right, make sure you don't knock that water. What are y'all doing?
Get just freshening up before we go to eat.
Oh, we're going to eat tonight?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what are we having? What are we having?
Tell him, Fresh.
The walk.
Mm-hmm.
You're a baby.
Precious picking up the bill.
You're not. I'm broke.
Bug's cousin? Yeah, it is
I don't know
Bug's
how to put
cousin.
him
Put him down.
down.
All right, Joanne, I'll talk about this really quickly.
Really?
About media information and media insight. Okay. No. None of it matters. I really do think like college coaches for so long freak out over something that is non-existent, right? Now, do I think Florida State, what is Cravers? Do I think Florida State is actually looking at this LSU practice footage? Yeah, I think they are. But here's my thing. Don't you think these coaching staffs that have all these analysts are going to have plays that they're going to show everyone during the viewing portion of practice? No, it's just not how it is. And honestly, you don't start putting your full install of plays in until the actual games start. Okay, so don't. I know you're not freaking out about it. You were just asking a question, but I would just say don't think that, right? Like I've been accused. I've been accused of this before, saying, "Hey, your breakdowns are showing too much." Don't you think that every team has analysts that are way smarter than me, that know way more about football than I do? Someone like me who's never coached, never been an analyst or anything like that. These guys know what they're doing, right? You think Brian Kelly, if he really thought that the access that the media gave was going to give away a potential like matchup or something like that, he wouldn't actually do it, right? This guy knows what he's doing. Trust me.
Your dog shares suitcase.
Buzz, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Say thank you to Buzz and Jared.
Thanks, Buzz. Thanks, Gerald.
Jared, thank you for your super chat. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks, Jared. Say thanks, Chris.
Yeah, I'm a cat. I'm rooting for Miles too. I really am. Because he's been at LSU for so long. But the truth is, Jaden and Nuss are putting their blood, sweat, and tears into this as well. And the best man may the best man win. Okay.
I'm just putting this white shirt on.
Frederick, the field goal kicker, according to BK, is wide open. Okay, it's wide open. All right. Okay.
Let's get my jewelry.
If you live in Mobile or Fairhope, please hit me up. I did. It was great. I have Miles. I actually don't have Miles's throw that he threw to BTJ. I wasn't able to upload it to this because we just got here like an hour and a half ago. So yeah.
No, more than that.
Oh.
Don't tell Carter.
I'll tell what.
Oh, not that.
What's up, mate? Good to see you. See, she. Huh?
What?
What's up, Sean? Good to see you.
Sean.
Everyone, welcome, Sean.
Sean Gilmore?
Legacy. Rob G. Bramlett from Tuscaloosa is going to be your guy. And then next year, it's going to be the guy from West Monroe. Okay? Yeah, we actually ate at Walk-Ons, and we're in Jackson. Is Jackson?
No, Hattiesburg.
Hattiesburg is where Southern Miss is located, right?
Yes.
So we went to Walk-Ons today in Hattiesburg. It was excellent. The service was great. The food was great. Everything was great.
Everything was. Yeah, it was good.
I had Walk-Ons and where's Spanish Fort?
I know where Spanish Fort is.
Where is it?
It's not far from us.
Oh, really?
That's where we were over by the card shop.
All right, Nolan, shoot me a message.
Over there by the Bass Pro Shop.
Oh, is that? Well, shoot me a message, Nolan, at Power LSU. Last time I actually did meet up with a viewer here. Biscuit. I don't see Biscuit in here all that often.
Did first you make Biscuit?
No. Speaking of biscuit, you know something that's better than a biscuit?
Gravy.
Gravy. Not gravy.
What?
I just want somebody in the
Here's my
chat to
dummy.
tell
What
me.
about Papa's gravy?
Papa's gravy. is
Papa
the
doesn't
best.
have good gravy. What is better than biscuits? Somebody in the chat tell me right
Bacon.
now.
Bacon?
Oh, not bacon.
What?
We do this every time on the chat and people still. There we go.
What was it?
Presley Collection.
Wait, what?
What's
Wait,
up, Ray?
Book.
Book is bad.
Oh.
Book is great.
Book is better than a biscuit.
Pressure, what's that right there?
What?
Hey, ring!
And Pressure?
Who is this?
Pressure, what does that say right there? I'll tell you.
Press. Wait,
What does that say?
Presley.
Presley Collection.
Say it louder.
Presley Collection.
And PressyCollection.com is where you can get the best engagement rings, diamond
Somebody
pendants,
said a donut.
necklaces, everything. Pressy Collection and
I'm ordering a
PressyCollection.com.
necklace in a few weeks. I'm ordering.
You could show them the ring right here, bud.
Everybody saying Presley.
And there you go. Look at it. Pressy Collection, PressyCollection.com.
I got some Mimi's.
No, ma'am.
I love the Tuscaloosa punter. He's like, I wasn't all into the Notre Dame main thing, and he wants his Tuscaloosa family to come to the games in purple and gold. Yeah, so he said his family is going to come to the games wearing LSU stuff, but his friends and family are going to come wearing red. So what's really interesting is they would sit.
Want to change shirts too, or just shorts?
Yeah, I'll change all of it. What time are we going?
When Tasha and Lindsay get here,
So probably about an hour.
or less.
Okay, well, we'll keep it going for a little bit.
That shirt, okay? That blue shirt.
Yeah.
Is that fine?
All right, let me hang out here. I'll be out there in a second.
I'm getting out, Carter. I'm just
Oh,
trying to
no.
get-
I was just telling Pressure. I know she wants to go play.
Teddy.
Do we think Colby Richardson getting all this hype is a sign of good depth or a sign of other players not stepping up like we expected? Yeah.
Right.
Probably a little bit of both, right? I'll say this. He wouldn't be playing if other guys were, playing. Like, I mean, look, here's a good example of this, TJ. is they moved Jordan Toles to corner, right? And it was rough. It was rough. We've seen it, some in like some released practice videos, but we've also just seen it in general. Jordan Toles was a safety that they moved to corner, and it wasn't great. So that was a top 100 player out of a very, good area, Maryland, right? There's a lot of good players that come from that Maryland, DC area. And yeah, sometimes it just happens, right? And Colby Richardson is a seasoned guy. And, he's going toe to toe with Kayshawn right now. So, yeah, I mean, once again, it's a limited sample. It's just a few practices, and some of it is him just playing because Seven Banks is hurt, and Jared Bernard Converse is still, getting back to full speed. But this guy's played a lot of football, right? I think you recruit for LSU because every player in Mitchell will end up getting them nice work. So here's what I think, Chris. Like, I don't talk about a whole lot of recruits that I don't think LSU has a shot at getting. So it might seem like that happens. The only thing I'll say is I kept talking about Harold Perkins even when he committed to Texas A&M. I felt pretty good about LSU's chances the entire time. Now, some of that was, people telling me it wasn't over. But yeah, I'm not an insider, so if I get some kind of information, I feel pretty good about it. So yeah. Hey, Converse is a bad man. It's a bad man. Chat is acting slow. Yeah, I don't know why that is. I don't know why that would. I don't have any control over the chat. I just don't. Maybe just maybe. I doubt it though. Because Jay Ward's playing really good right now at safety. So here's what we're gonna do. Because I do have some family stuff. We're gonna keep this chat moving along. I'm gonna answer as many questions as I can in the next 5 minutes. Okay. Now, if you super chat, we'll keep this thing moving. Okay, I'm starting this a little bit earlier, so I'll be able to chat for a little bit longer. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to get them in right now. I'll answer them as fast as we could. But if you super chat, I'll skip dinner. Okay?
Nuh-uh. I ain't bringing you a to-go plate.
You're not bringing a to-go plate?
Come on, Teddy.
Yo, you can't stay with me.
Come on, Teddy.
Price, come get the stall.
Come on, Teddy. Come on, boy. Come on,
There
Teddy.
you go. Thanks, Price. There we go. Home of Hall of Fame punter Ray Guy. Brett Favre. Ray Johannes, welcome to the show. How do you think not keeping seniority and starting going to impact the longevity of the team? Not at all. This is LSU. The best players should play. I mean, this isn't charity. When you sign up to play at LSU, that was a weird burp. When you sign up to play at LSU, okay, you know what you're signing up for. Okay? It's kind of like, when I was getting the questions about Ricky Collins, when he decommitted, I got a bunch of questions saying, hey, what do you think Walker Howard and Garrett Nussmeier have to say about this? They don't care, right? When you sign to play at LSU, anybody can take your job. Anybody. Okay? So, it's one of those things. If Emory Jones and Will Campbell are two of your best offensive linemen right now, play them, right? I think the only position with seniority that you really do think about is quarterback because of the portal and how all of that works. But even then, if Walker Howard was out there throwing behind the back Mahomes no-look dimes, you play the best quarterback. You play the best player. If you start like galaxy brain thinking, well, what if this guy does this, and how would this guy feel about this? You're actually doing a disservice to your team. So the best player should always play. Okay, like if you overthink it, it's going to drive you crazy. It really will. Okay. Uh, Rescue at running back depth chart. It would be tough because you know if it was like older days where running back was take the ball, run right, take the ball, run left, you'd feel more comfortable doing that. But running back is very mental now. Like it's very pass protection. If you can't do it, we can't really play you kind of thing. And obviously Harold is plenty smart to understand that, but it's hard to just pick up an offense when you're not practicing at that position. So I would like to see it. I mean, I don't know. Like I thought Harold was one of the best running backs in all of high school football last year as well. He was the best player. He was my number one player, period, regardless of position. Regardless of if he went to LSU or not. I would have felt the same way. Um, but that's tough. I mean, could he pick it up quickly? I'm sure he could, but it's hard. It's really, really hard. What's up, Taro? Good to see you. Love this photo with you and the wifey. Gotta love it. Jordan Toles transfer portal. Uh, but he just got past. That's basically it. If you're playing corner, if they move you from safety to corner, and they bring in all these different transfers from all different levels, that's the staff telling you, that, hey, it's time for you to figure something out. Okay. Yeah, I showed them a minute ago. Picked up Eli Manning, Reggie Bush, 5 Jameis rookies. I'll probably give some of these out. And the big one here, I found this in a dollar box, actually, Jeremy Hill. So, got a great deal for all 4 of these. Nice add to the J Hill collection. But yeah. Boom, go have dinner with the fam. I still got a little time. You super chatted, right? Yeah, Sage Ryan as a returner. Very interesting. Oh, yeah, I didn't do it yet. The Master Blaster. Yeah, I can. I mean, here's something I'll say about Nuss. Okay. And once again, I know I reference the Discord a lot. The Discord has gotten really good, right? There's intense debates, there's back and forth, but it all gets worked out. The Discord gets into a lot of this, right? Where everyone could share their opinions and all of that. Okay. And Chris said that's just not true. BTJ won't outproduce Kayshawn this year. And BTJ is a really good player. It's just Kayshawn is Kayshawn, and that's all there is to it. Now, as far as Garrett Nussmeier is concerned, we haven't seen his best yet. Now, he could just be mediocre, but history tells us that true freshman quarterbacks are bad, even the ones that go to the NFL. Okay? So the truth is, Nuss isn't bad. He could be, but you can't judge him based on his performance versus Arkansas as a true freshman. Historically, true sophomore years tell how good of a quarterback that quarterback is actually going to be. Okay? So, sometimes you don't get a chance to start as a true sophomore, and Nuss might not get that chance. But the truth is, we'll see. Okay? Yeah, I guess I agree and disagree with this. You want MYLES to get the opportunity, right? Being a 2017 recruit and it's 2022, and the injuries and all of that. But, that's what makes sports great, right? You don't get the storybook ending. You just don't. I remember this very vividly. Okay. One of the most iconic sports games was the first LA Lakers game in Staples. I don't care what it's named now. It's always going to be Staples. Now it's Crypto.com Arena, but it used to be the Staples Center, right? And the Lakers were playing the Blazers. It was an emotional night, and you would think that the basketball gods would have the Lakers, who are better than the Blazers, beat the Blazers. The Blazers smoked them, right? And that's what makes sports great. Not every story ends in a fairy tale, right? And it's real. If you want fairy tale endings, you can pop on a Hallmark Channel.
Hey, baby, we're leaving in about 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, where are we going?
To Sunset Grill, the one on the bay.
Oh, the one we went to?
Yeah.
We're going there?
Yeah.
Does it have something there on one line?
There's tons of wonderful seafood there.
Seafood? Wrap it up?
Yeah.
You're supposed to tell me that later, not now.
Okay. You need to change your clothes.
There you go, Chris. I think you're a first timer. I think I've seen you before. Oh, I show love to the first timers. Thanks to all our top super chatters on this edited earlier version of it. Does it sound okay? I know I don't have my my professional setup, and it's dark in here. But here we are.
Where is my purse?
I don't know. See?
Richie said, "Who's bad and bougie?" Are you
The
wrapping
state
it
of
up, baby?
football. Yeah.
Heather and him are on their way.
Okay, Jordan, I'll play the clip one more time for you. Now, I know you've seen this clip a few times, but I want you to watch the route right here. And I think this guy, it's gonna be a tough time for this guy to see the field. But watch this route by Kyron Lacey, and look at him look off the DB and not sell this route short. This is really well done. There you go, after the low snap. So it's really good stuff. I know. I might need a ride. I might need one of you to come give me a ride to the restaurant.
Why?
Because I want to keep it going. We're having a good time.
Okay.
You going to bring me back a plate?
I'm sure not.
You're not going to bring me back a plate?
Carter, please.
You're not going to bring me back a plate?
They'll understand. It's family time.
But I want a plate.
Come on, quit being funny. Seriously, stop.
All right, guys. I got to go get a plate. Hope you enjoyed this live stream.
You can come back later and do more.
Yeah, well, I got to get a film study done for tomorrow. Okay. Bang. Okay. I'm surprised we didn't get any more PHL patrons. All right.
I got you a 5 hour.
Jacob was our last patron. Okay, Jacob and
Who?
Bruce. Jacob Wiggins in Houghton, Louisiana.
Nice.
What's up, Esteban? I do have to go, Esteban.
We
Sorry.
really do. Okay.
So here's what I'm going to do. Patreon.com/LSU football. But as you guys know, I like to support my dear beloved friend. Okay, I know we're into this thing, a little bit early. Okay. Y'all go on over to Blake's channel. Blake's live stream is going on right now. You can go to that link if you want more LSU football talk. Blake's one of my best buddies. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon, okay? I'm going to try and get a film study out tomorrow from, the practice footage that was released today. Once again, I highly recommend you join the PHL page. Chatting with some patrons in the Discord for the rest of the night. And I'm going to share a few things that I've seen on the practice clips that I like, a few things that I didn't like, a few players that I am just totally out on, a few players that I'm starting to move up my depth chart, okay? There is one player, and you guys know I don't like being too critical on here. There is one player, though, that I feel like, we need to discuss even more heavily because I do think he could play a lot next year, and it's starting to get a little interesting, okay? It is
Our LSU. Boom. I did it.
That's my line.
Okay. Bye.
What are you taking my line for?
Because I can.
She took my line. She took my line. Y'all go to Blake's show, okay? It is Power Hour LSU. Bam! And tonight, we're going to get seafood. Teddy! What are you doing? There we go.
Teddy busted in.
And tonight, we're getting some seafood. Let's go.